Today we're diving into Joma West's chilling 2022 novel, Face. It introduces us to a world that, honestly, might feel a little too close to home. We're going to use a really fascinating academic analysis to unpack the deep social and psychological gears turning in this pretty disturbing vision of the future.
Okay, this one line from the book is the key to everything. The best face is no face at all. It's an idea that just gets right to the unsettling heart of the entire story. So you have to ask, what kind of world could possibly lead to a belief like that?
Well, let's get into it. This isn't just a world with some different customs or weird trends. We're talking about a society that is fundamentally, you could even say pathologically, afraid of the human face itself.
The novel imagines a near future where technology isn't just a tool we use anymore. No, it's actually fused with our biology. It's become a kind of post-digital world where every single interaction, every relationship is regulated and controlled.
And this is the central rule of this whole society. Showing your real face, your actual, emotional, unfiltered face, isn't just a social mistake. It's seen as an act of aggression. It literally provokes a gut reaction of fear, disgust, and even anger in other people. Authenticity has actually become obscene.
So, how on earth does a society like this actually function? Let's break down the incredibly detailed system of control that makes this whole strange reality possible.
Life is basically split into two completely separate spheres. First, you have the in. That's the digital world. A carefully curated space that feels safe, but only because you can control every little thing about it. Then you have the out, which is the physical world, and it's seen as a total minefield of unpredictable and dangerous interactions.
And this control is built on a super rigid social hierarchy. At the very top, you've got the monitors. They're the elite, and ironically, they're the only ones allowed to have physical contact, a privilege they use to keep everyone else in line. Below them are the top tiers, who are these bioengineered citizens judged by their face value and strictly forbidden from any kind of touch or real emotion. And then, at the very bottom are the menials, a servant class, bred to be subhuman, trained not to think or feel at all.
So how do they enforce all this? Well, there are a few key tools. AR implants record absolutely everything. Your social status, called your face value, is a score based on your genes and your online presence. Daily life is an endless performance of faceplay, which means wearing a blank, acceptable mask. And the most crucial part? The citizens all police each other, constantly reinforcing the rules through something they call normalizing judgment.
So what is the psychological toll of living like this? What does it do to a person? The academic analysis we're pulling from gives it a name, and it's a powerful one: the posthuman wound.
The posthuman wound is what happens when you systematically tear the self apart. It's the trauma that comes from separating our minds from our bodies, our digital data from our real feelings, and ultimately ourselves from each other. It's a deep wound inflicted by a society that is terrified of what it means to be a physical person.
And this quote, wow, it just brilliantly illustrates that wound in action. In this world, a father holding his own baby is only okay because a plastic barrier is separating them. The very idea of skin-to-skin contact, one of the most basic, fundamental human acts, has been completely twisted into something horrifying.
This brings us to one of the most devastating scenes in the whole novel. A high-ranking father finally tries to make a real, genuine connection with his daughter. He confesses to her that the moment he held her skin-to-skin as a baby was the first true, real thing he had ever felt in his life.
And her reaction? It's not warmth. It's not love. It's pure revulsion. She literally has to fight the urge to be sick. In her eyes, his vulnerability, his confession of a real, physical feeling, transforms him from this powerful man into something pathetic and weak. I mean, that just shows you how deep the wound really goes.
But what's really fascinating here is that the way the novel is written is just as important as what it's about. The book's entire structure is designed to make you feel this fragmentation.
The whole story is told in these broken pieces. You read about some interaction from one character's perspective, then maybe a few chapters later, you'll see that exact same moment, but now from someone else's point of view. As the reader, you're the only one who gets to see the huge, tragic gap between the face people are showing and what they're actually feeling inside. And this isn't just some clever literary trick. No, it's a way of immersing you, the reader, in the central theme of the book.
The author is making you experience the same sense of dislocation and fragmentation that these characters are trapped in every single day of their lives.
You know, the author herself basically confirmed this was intentional. Joma West said she wanted the experience of reading the book to feel like doom scrolling. You know that feeling of seeing the same event just refracted through endless, slightly different online comments until you just feel disconnected from what's even real anymore?
But, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. Even in this deeply broken world, the story shows us that the human spirit isn't so easy to just snuff out. There are these little flickers of a deep, deep yearning for something more.
The characters are conditioned, they're trained to fear touch and emotion, but they just can't entirely suppress it. They're haunted by what their society dismisses as a primitive desire, which is just the basic human need for physical contact and genuine connection.
This quote just captures that inner conflict perfectly. A character named Tonia is near a man she's drawn to. She desperately wants him to close the distance, just a millimeter, just for his skin to brush hers. But when he doesn't, her main feeling is relief. The desire and the absolute terror of that desire exist in the exact same moment.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What's the novel's ultimate prescription for this broken world? It suggests the cure for the post-human wound isn't a better algorithm or some new piece of tech. The path to healing lies in re-embracing the very things the society has tried to destroy: vulnerability, risk, and the messy, unpredictable reality of being a physical body in the world, relating to other bodies.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty crucial question for our own lives. As we spend more and more of our time creating the perfect online profile, living behind these digital masks, the novel really forces us to ask ourselves, what does it truly mean, right here and right now, to make a real connection?